we take a moment to reflect on how bad 2020 has been so far? It's a new decade, and so far, we've had threats of war, whole continents on fire, a pandemic. How could it possibly get worse? Well, in any case, I think we need two things. One, a new outlook on life, so... there. Perfect. And two, a way to vent some of this frustration. So that's why I came up with this top 10 list.
Have you ever played a game and thought, gee, I really hate this character. I hope they die in a fire and explode through their rectum, or something along those lines? Well, I sure did, so I decided to come up with a list of my top 10 picks of the most hated video game characters on N64.
Because why not? It's not like I've played every game system of all time and would know every single hated character, right?
So here are my rules. 1 character per game, and that's about it. Yeah. Dr. Doke from GoldenEye is definitely not a very hated character, but he does deserve my ire nonetheless. And I can already hear people going, "But GoldenEye is a movie licensed game, you can't use characters from that." And you would be right, except that Dr. Doke is not from the movie. Go ahead, just try to point him out to me in the movie. Oh, well, that hardly counts, come on. So why Dr. Doke? Well, for starters, he can be in a number of different locations and it takes forever to find him sometimes. All while you're fighting off Russian soldiers and trying to find 006. Once you find him, he gives you a decoder to open a door. That's a lot of effort, just to open one measly door. To be perfectly fair though, you can beat the level without finding him. All you gotta do is shoot this door until a soldier comes and opens it. Dr. Doke is definitely only slightly annoying and quite possibly not even worth putting on this list, but I stand by it. Shy Guy! Why Shy Guy? He's just a shy guy that doesn't do any harm. Wrong. In Mario Party 3, he is a scourge, a plague, a gambler. A gambler. A gambler. He's a gambler. When you land on a Shy Guy space, he comes and takes your coins. Be it legitimate or ill-gotten, he takes every single coin you have, and the only way to get them back is to win his game. And each game is stacked heavily against you. There's a simple choose the chest game, which you could play up to 3 times. Then, there's a cake eating contest, and finally, a dice rolling game where you gotta beat his roll. What do you mean? You're starving and you don't even finish your cake? It's like dealing with a toddler. No, come on, I was so close. In any case, once you land on his space, you're more than likely losing all your coins, and that is a major game changer. And because of that, Shy Guy deserves all the hate of number 9. What? Gabora is only number 8? Rob. The owl from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time takes the number 8 spot for me. Yes, Gabora is annoying, and it's easy to get caught up in a text scroll, so you end up repeating everything he says a few times, but all in all, I don't think he's all that bad. He's a giant owl for crying out loud, capable of flying you around Hyrule. That's pretty cool. But still, the constant interruptions to tell you some not really helpful information really sours the experience. Gabora is infamous for tricking gamers into having to sit through what he says over and over again. And it got to the point where he's hardly a character worth mentioning in the sequel, Majora's Mask. Did you even remember he was in it? Yeah, I barely did. Again, a character more annoying than hated, but we're just getting started. Donkey Kong. Freaking Donkey Kong. Now, granted, there's a lot of people who like him. He has his own video game series for crying out loud, but that's not where I hate him from. No, not Donkey Kong 64, Mario Tennis. That's right, Mario Tennis is where Donkey Kong is one of the absolute worst. Sure, playing as him is probably okay, even though I personally haven't played with him because I love Boo. Beautiful, perfect Boo. But Donkey Kong, let me tell you, Donkey Kong only uses power shots that go in the opposite corners of the court. Normally this isn't really a problem because he's predictable. However, there are cooperative challenges like where you have to hit the ball through these rings and he simply won't do it because he has to try to beat you. The idiot doesn't even realize that if you lose, he loses. No! Why, Donkey Kong, why? It's frustrating beyond belief, especially for a sports game. Gah! The amazing Mole Brothers I feel deserve to be on this list. Not that they're really annoying to the player, but more of despicable guys. They are lauded as businessmen when you first meet one of them on the battleship segment, but soon after it's revealed that they are in fact slave traders and utilize said tribal slaves to mine gems so that they can afford to keep doing business with Mizar, the main villain. Being slave traders is horrendous enough, but these guys are pretty passive in the game. They don't do anything at all except make words and give you certain items to progress, hence why they are number 6 on this list. And to be fair, I should really just pick one. There are 3 brothers, and the one in the mine is the absolute worst. He lies to your face, and then when you come back disguised as a tribal, he confides that he hates the Jet Force and hopes to continue enslaving tribals for profit. Talk about tactless! The amazing Mole Brothers are shitty people, and they deserve the hate that's coming to them. Too bad you can't kill them in game. Professor Oak. Surprised? Well, to be fair, in the original Pokemon games, he sends 10-year-olds out in the wilderness alone to take on progressively tougher and tougher opponents until you emerge triumphant in the end. That's pretty skeevy. But here, we're talking Pokemon Snap. All you gotta do is take beautiful, beautiful pictures of Pokemon, and this jerk criticizes them to no end. I mean, seriously, how is this picture better than this picture that I just took? It's not. Professor Oak doesn't seem to understand that taking pictures of Pokemon is an art form and therefore immune to his criticism. But alas, you cannot proceed unless you appease him with pictures he thinks are good enough. Do you know how hard it is to get angles like these, Professor? Cat from Star Fox 64. On the surface, she's a nice token female cat person lady. While on Zone S, she assists you for the first time, and when you move on to the next area, she pops up there as well. Well, she can't be that bad, right? She's just trying to help out. Wrong. She steals your kills. On Macbeth, it's not so bad. But Sector Z? On Sector Z, it's impossible to get the medal if she's there. Sector Z has you flying around defending Great Fox from fighters and missiles. You need 100 kills to get that medal. There are 6 missiles, which means you only have to kill 34 fighters. Sounds easy, right? Well, that all changes when Cat blows up a missile and you desperately needed those kills. I hope you're happy, Cat. You make me angry and sad, and Bill was better. The mission is over in one of 2 ways. Either destroy all the missiles, or Great Fox gets hit with one. Either way, you have to beat the clock. I never could get the medal on this mission. Mark ended up doing it for me, and because of Cat, he had to replay the game by going through Sector X and using a rather difficult to get warp zone in that level. And even then, the mission was hard. Plus, she says annoying things all the time, and that just won't do.
Beautiful! I can hit you for that!
Now things are getting serious. If you've ever played banjo-tooie, then you will probably remember Canary Mary. That is, unless you repressed any memory of her, and I wouldn't blame you for that. You first find Canary Mary locked inside a cage inside a gas-filled mine. After freeing her, she flies off and challenges you to a race. And all you gotta do is take the minecart through the level to get to the other side. The main catch is, you move the cart by rapidly pressing the A button. And this race isn't a short one. You're going for a couple of minutes, which in rapid pressing time is a week. But that's not all. Once you beat her, she challenges you again. You end up getting a Jiggy and a Cheeto page though, so it's not all bad. Also, she looks off, like a discount furry. It's unsettling in the least and downright scary at the worst. So, wait, what was that all I had to say? Oh yeah, the reason why I hate her part. So in Cloud Cuckoo Land, she appears again, and she challenges you to a race on a flying clockwork mouse. That makes no sense, and even Kazooie calls her out on it. But this race is the worst. I say again, the worst! It's about the same length as both the previous races combined, and Canary Mary doesn't let up. She's faster than ever. There have been points where I got most of the way, and then she passes me near the very end simply because my arm is so worn out and I can hardly move it anymore. And it's all for another Jiggy and Cheeto page. Not worth it. What's this? Another Rareware game on this list? That's 3 now. It's almost as though Rare knows how to make characters to hate. Anyway, Mr. Vile. The name says it all. He's a red crocodile you encounter in Bubble Gloop Swamp, and he wants you to play a game of Grumble Munch or whatever those frickin' things are. The game itself isn't too hard, especially if you've unlocked the running shoes, but that's not why Mr. Vile is on this list. Mr. Vile is verbally abusive, always calling you names, making fun of your size, and attacks you when you fail to win. Even his voice sounds aggressive and grating. Mr. Vile beats out Canary Mary simply because he is a terrible character that is designed to be hated. Seriously, I usually try to keep that part of the level left until the last possible moment because I hate it so much. Funny how he harps on your size though. He claims to be the biggest and meanest, but he lives inside the head of a giant crocodile. Not to mention that in the Banjo-Kazooie universe, human characters are giant, even larger than Banjo. A bear, a grizzly bear maybe. He only comes up to knee height on some of these humans, and Mr. Vile is smaller than that even. I guess the stereotype of short and hot-tempered applies to Mr. Vile, which is fitting, isn't it?
I seem to have gone off on a bit of a tangent here. Huh.
Mr. Vile, you can go suck on a pine cone. This is it. This is my #1 most hated character on the N64, the elder son from Majora's Mask. He's a baby, and let's face it, babies suck. This little brat can be found inside the Goron village, complaining about being hungry and cold. And it's not like the rest of his people are not cold and hungry or anything. Heck, even some of them are frozen solid, even his own father. Not to mention that you literally steal food from another Goron to feed this brat, and the crying only stops after you lull him to sleep with the most soporific instrument in the world, drums. What sort of baby goes to sleep listening to drums?
Go to sleep! Go to sleep! Go to sleep!
And then, after you defeat the boss and save the village, you can find this obnoxious brat over by the racetrack entrance. However, it's blocked and he starts crying again because he can't get what he wants and see the roly-poly Gorons doing the rolling things. You know, the kid Goron in Ocarina of Time cried too. However, I feel like that's justifiable at least. His family, heck, his entire town was kidnapped and were gonna be fed to a dragon. And he had no way of knowing if he would even be able to survive, let alone see anyone he trusted ever again. That's scary to a kid. This kid, though, he's a spoiled brat that bitches and moans whenever he doesn't get his way. And that is well worth not liking him or even hating him as a character. But still, he's just a baby. A baby of hate.
Well, I hope you rather enjoyed this list, and I know that I probably missed a bunch. I haven't played every N64 game, so why don't you tell me your picks in the comments below? I'll read them, and I hope that everyone is staying safe out there, and